Hi YouTube, and this is JTrain997, and I'm back this time with my review of the Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cockroach Terminator figure. Now, get a good look at this here in the packaging. Was just in my local Toys R Us, found him, Rat King, and all four of the Stealth Tech Turtles, which we'll be seeing a review of shortly. Excuse me. And this guy is a very nice looking figure. He was advertised on the back of the packaging for the last couple of figures that came out, Leatherhead, Baxter Stockman. But of course he's just now appearing. He comes with this little cockroach buzzsaw that goes in his chest and his antennae. But no laser gun. I was really hoping he would get that Krang blaster that we saw him with in the show, but unfortunately no. On the back of the packaging here you can see some of the other characters available. And his read-up says, "Meet the biggest and toughest insect ever. Cockroach Terminator was once Donnie's little spy before falling into a container of mutagen ooze and mutating into an unstoppable monster. He is ready to destroy anything that crosses his way, including the turtles. Anyone who pesters this insect should be ready to get stung. Weapons, saw blade, Krang blaster, and Donatello spy gear." So, a very nice looking figure. That being said, let's open him up. And here we have Cockroach Terminator out of the packaging. Now, I gotta say, I'm not crazy about the way they designed his saw, because there's just a hole in his back, and I guess the whole idea is that you can work the saw like that, but there's just this big gaping hole straight through him at all times if you're not putting the saw in, and it just kind of lays there. There's no real connection. So overall, it's an action feature I could have done without. I would have much rather the saw just plugged in some way, maybe like one point of articulation where you could bend it a little bit. Other than that, the saw looks nice enough. There's a little bit of detail. It's kind of that same color as his chest right there, and the rest is a flat silver. His antennae, you had to use a little extra force to get plugged in, but once they're in, there's no problem. It's a very nice looking figure though. You can see they've got the little Terminator eye. One of his antennae is robotic. You can see bits of them are mixed with the machinery Donatello had him hooked up with. Let's actually spin him around here. So there's some very nice detail on the back of his shell. So, it's a real shame they don't paint these figures more so than what they do, because they actually sculpt a lot of detail into them. Now, as far as his articulation, his head is very, very stiff, but if you fight with it, you can get it to do a full 360. His antennae aren't really going to do too much movement once they're plugged in, but they are flexible. Arms are on a ball joint, go out, do a full 360. Surprisingly enough, he has a ball jointed elbow right there. Of course, bends and spins. Wrist, however, they look like they would have a joint, but they don't. You can see right there with that piece connected. Both arms are the same. He's got this little side leg down here which you can turn. Legs, of course, standard ball joint, out to about here. Go forward and back. No joint there. So, a lot of people complain the enemies don't get the articulation the turtles do, but with this one, yeah, he didn't get a lot, but he got more so than usual. Now, this, as with all new Turtles waves, you know, it's rare at the time of making this video. Pretty soon it'll be everywhere. Cockroach Terminator is a nice addition to your Rogues gallery. I really don't like the saw. I could have easily lived with them filling up this hole and giving us a Krang blaster for his hand, because they're open like he could hold something. Speaking of, we'll go ahead and knock this out in one swoop. Just knocked all his blasters out of his hand, but for a size comparison, here he is next to the Krang figure that was also released from this line. If I can get him to stand up. Yeah, he doesn't want to stand, but you can see there, he's a bit shorter than most of your TMNT figures. And both of the blasters that came with said Krang figure. Let's see if we can get either of these. They're both relatively small compared to what he was using in the show. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of fit him in there, but I mean, if you're army building, I guess I can see you doing that, but he had one and it was much bigger than both of these. I wish we could have seen that. So, $10 at the time of making this video. Well, honestly, like right at $9. Most stores are running you about $9. That's one of the big reasons I love this line. It's a really nostalgic line for me, and I love the fact that it's so fairly priced. And that being said, this is JTrain997. Keep your eyes peeled for these at your local toy stores, and I'll see you soon, YouTube.